And the only thing, I had to do a fight plan for ESPN just the other day. They came down to New York to do it in one of my gyms that I run for my charity foundation, just to keep kids off the street. And one of the things I pointed out in the flaws of Canelo is that, I don't know if people picked this up on tape, but he has this, I had to look at the tape a couple times and say, wow, he's got this habit sometimes when he thinks a big shot's coming at him, that he does this. He literally does this. Sometimes he does this. And he tries to,
That's the Mexican.
well, I don't know if it's Mexican. I don't know what it is. I've never seen.
They say like, you roll with it. Like,
no, but I mean, Duran was Panamanian. He wasn't Mexican, but and Duran was pretty good, you know. But he rolled it. But it's like
he just
deep.
Stays there.
Yeah, and it's like he gets frozen in that lane.
Big overhand right there.
Yeah, and I looked at it and I watched it again. I said, all right, Teddy, watch it again before you go and make a fool out of yourself. and I saw it again. I said, all right.
It's funny because he caught Amir with that. He fainted and Amir went like that.
So when Canelo does that, that's the spot that still scares me, brings me back to 2 years ago when I was saying, Golovkin too big, too strong. That's the spot where he could be too big, too strong, if he gives him that spot. If he can eliminate that flaw in his game for the whole night, then I could see Canelo winning a fight. But that's a big if.
You don't think Gennady will? For the past 2 years, why would he just change it out of nowhere for Golovkin? I mean, it's something you just can't change. It's a habit, a good or bad habit.
You can change anything, my friend, if you're aware of it. If you're not aware of it, you're not going to change it. You ask him when you see him.
Do you think Gennady will fight him the way he fought Lemieux, really cautious, just jab and box?
I think he's going to be smart about it. I mean, you know, Golovkin's a guy who won a silver medal. Golovkin's a guy who had 400 amateur fights. I mean, you're not stupid when you've had 400 amateur fights and you won a silver medal. You've been in with all kinds of talent, all over the world, all kinds of styles. Your approach is usually a contained, focused, proper approach whenever you get in that ring and what it needs to be. And I'm sure that his approach will be what it needs to be, to use the jab, stabilize the quicker guy, theoretically, the quicker, more mobile guy, maybe even lower the jab down to the chest instead of the head, you know, where you can stabilize him, keep him in front of him a little bit, control range. You know, I'm sure that he's not just going to go in there and say, I'm landing a punch, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Does their sparring 5, 6 years ago, does that matter?
I haven't seen that.
No, because we've seen it before. We really have. The history of boxing has shown us that there's guys that have sparred with guys and done really well. And then guess what? They get in the ring with them 5 years later, and the guy is not a guy. He's not a kid no more. He's a man. He's a mature, grown-up, professional fighter of a different level. And oh my God, it's a different story.